Hi there, Mr. Muhammed is here. This is Oxford Complete Mathematics for IGCSE students, page 227. It's about using cosine rule with scale drawing to find the length between two objects, or simply, let's say, to find the missing side. I checked the list, exercise set 11. These two questions are very important. The other ones, you can just, like the questions before, roughly draw something and state the angles that are given, the sides, then follow the question to find the missing side. Here, question 3, a destroyer D and a cruiser C leave port P at the same time. So port P is just one point. Let's say this point is the port P. Then the destroyer D sails 25 kilometers on a bearing of 40 degrees. Then we need the north of this point because we work on this point. So here is the north and an angle 40 degrees. An angle 40 degrees could be like this, and this line is 25 kilometers. This line is 25 kilometers and this angle is 40 degrees. As you know, bearing is always clockwise. That's why this 40 degrees is here. This one represents the destroyer. So the destroyer now is here. Here's D. And the cruiser sails 30 kilometers on a bearing of 320 degrees. So to have the bearing of 320 degrees, 320 degrees clockwise will be like this, and it is similar to 40 degrees anti-clockwise. Why? Because these two angles together, they add up to 360. So we can mark an angle 40 degrees anti-clockwise, so it will be exactly the same as 320 degrees clockwise. Now we had an angle 40 degrees on the side. We will have another angle, another 40 degree on the other side. So another 40 degree is nearly here, but this time the cruiser moved 30 kilometers. So here is 30 kilometers. Now the question says, how far apart are the ships? And we don't need this. How far apart is just this line, this distance from the destroyer to the cruiser. So we need this line. The cruiser is right here. So look at here. This angle is 40 degrees. And from this line, from this north of P, all the way to here is 320 degrees, which we don't need to solve this question. Now look at this triangle. What we have two sides. We have two sides with the angle between them. So it's the perfect time to use cosine rule. This angle, it's 40 on the side, 40 on the other side. This angle is 80 degrees. And we know these two lengths, we can find the length of the missing side. Now, this angle is C, so this side will be C small. This angle is D, this side will be D small. If we name the sides, will be better when we substitute in the rule. This angle, it's P, and this side will be P small. Okay, now let's use the cosine rule. Cosine rule looks like this. What's missing is side, right? Well, P square, the missing side square, is equal to the other two sides is equal to d squared plus c squared minus 2 dc cosine of, this is P and this is angle P, cosine of angle P. Let's distinguish between these two P's. This P is the side and this P is angle P. Okay, now let's substitute what we have and find what's missing. P is missing, it stays as P squared equals D squared is 30, so it will be 30 squared, plus C is 25, it will be 25 squared, minus 2 times 30 times 25. Then the result, 2 times 30 times 25, then this result times cosine of angle P is 80 degrees. Let's use a calculator to calculate these. What we will get from this is P squared, and to get P we need square root. Now let's calculate this. So we're gonna copy as we see in the question in the calculator. It will be better. Now we have 30 square plus 25 square, now minus bracket, we just copy the exact same thing that we see, times 30 times 25 times cosine of 80, close the bracket, close the other one. Now it's equal to 1264.5. Then P squared is equal to 1264.5. This is P squared, but what we need is P, not P squared. Then we need to take square root to get P. Square root cancels this power 2 here. What's remaining here is only P. And the square root of this result, 1264.5. So the square root of this result, square root of the answer, is 35.56. So nearly we can say P is 35.6. These lengths are in kilometers, so this is also in kilometers. It means the destroyer and the cruiser are 35.6 kilometers away from each other. It's important how to start the drawing. It's very important. Now question 4. Two honeybees A and B leave the hive H at the same time. So H is the point we work on. Let's say this point is H. Then A flies 27 meters due south, so the first bee goes down. South is down, so let's write H here. The first bee goes down 27 meters, so it will be something like this. This line is 27 meters. The other one flies 9 meters on a bearing of 111 degrees. So we need to mark some bearings. It means we need the north of point H and an angle clockwise 111 degrees. So 111 degrees is nearly, this is 90 degrees. So wider than 90, we can consider it as 111, but this one goes 9 meters. So we can say this is 9 meters. This angle is 111 degrees, and the other one has no angle because straight away it goes to south. Now we have something like a triangle. Two sides are given. We're gonna get the angle between them by using this given angle and start using cosine rule. Now this line be 9 meters and this one is 27 meters. This line, the length of this line is missing, so we have an angle with two sides around it, it means we can use cosine rule to find the missing side. Then what's the size of this angle? From here to there is 111. How much more we need to complete 180? So we need 69 more degrees. If we subtract it from 180, it is 69 degrees. So this angle here is 69 degrees. Now we know the length of two sides with the angle between them. We want to find this side, the length of the side. This angle is h capital, so let's name this h small. And these angles, they have no name. Let's just name them hi and q. It's just name, doesn't matter. So the name of this side will be q small, and the name of the side will be I small. Now let's use cosine rule to find this missing side. What's missing is h small, so h small square is equal to I square plus q square minus 2iq cosine of 69. Oh, we have this. Let's substitute what we have. H is not given, it stays as h. H square is equal to I is 27 square plus q is 9, it will be 9 square, minus 2 times 27 times 9 times cosine of 69. Now we have this. Let's write this in the calculator and calculate. 27 square plus 9 square and minus bracket 2 times 27, 2 times 27 times 9 times cosine of 69. Close this bracket and close the other one that we opened. This is equal to 635.8, but this 635 is h square is 635.8. What we need is h, so a square root is necessary. Now the square root of the answer is 25.2. 25.2. These measurements are in meters, so the honeybees are 25.2 meters away from each other. We have another question, question 5. In a triangle, the ratio, here is the question. We have this triangle. The ratio between the sides is 5 to 6 to 8. Find all angles. The ratio is 5 to 6 to 8. We can straight away use the ratio, or you can double these numbers. So you could have a triangle like 10 by 12 by 16. It gives you the exact same answers. But it's better to straight away use the ratio because the numbers are quite simple. Okay. Now we have all the sides, none of the angles are given, and we have to find all the angles. It means we need to use cosine rule. Cosine rule, if we want to find some missing angles, firstly let's name the angles and the sides. It will be easier to be used in the rule. So let's name this A small is here. Name this angle B, so the 6 will be B small, and name this angle C, the 8 will be C small. Okay, now if I want to find angle A, then cosine of A, here is A, so A shouldn't come here, to BC. Here is A should be behind the negative A square, and what we have here is B square plus C square. This trick is quite easy to memorize, the cosine rule. Now let's substitute what we have. We have B is 8, so it will be 8 square plus C is 6 square minus A is 5, it will be 5 square. 2 times 6 2 times 6, 2 times b, b is 6, times c, 8. Here I wrote 8 squared plus 6 squared. It doesn't affect the answer at all, so it's fine, but let's correct it. 6 square is b square and 8 square must be c square. Now the result of this fraction is cosine of a. Then we need cosine inverse to get the angle. Now calculator, it's fraction, it's better to use the fraction command. 6 square plus 8 square minus 5 square over 2 times 6 times 8. It's equal to this 0.78125, but we don't need this result. We need cosine inverse of this result. So shift and cosine gives cosine inverse. With this -1, it means it's cosine inverse. Cosine inverse of the previous answer, it's 38.62, so angle A is 38.6. We got the first angle. Now let's get the second angle, angle B. To get angle B, we're going to follow the same idea, the same rule, but this time we write it for cosine B. See how does it work for B. We need to find angle B, so cosine of B is equal to, here is B, B shouldn't come up here, to AC. There is no B. B is here, so B must be behind the negative, B squared. What's remaining here is A and C. Easy. Now let's substitute. B is not given, so it stays as cosine of B. Cosine of B is equal to, A is 5, it will be 5 squared, plus C is 8, 8 squared, minus B is 6, 6 squared, 2 times 5 times 8, which are A and C. Now we need calculator. Again, fraction, 5 squared plus 8 squared minus 6 squared over 2 times 5 times 8. Now we got this result, but to get B, we need cosine inverse of this result. Cosine inverse of the previous result, got it, 48.5. So angle B is 48.5. So we got the second angle. This is angle B. It was angle A. Only one angle is missing. So guess, is there another way rather than using cosine rule? Definitely yes. All the three angles together, they add up to 180. We know two angles. Easily we can get a third one. 180 minus 48.5 minus 38.6, that gives 92.9. So angle C is 92.9. Okay, we got all the angles. Question 5 done. It was also one of the important questions in this set. The other questions, you can normally do them like just sketch the graph, write the given angles, the given sides, and then work to find the missing sides and missing angles using cosine rule. And in some cases, when you think sine rule could be applied, use sine rule because sine is easier. If the line BCD is horizontal, okay, this line BCD is horizontal, find AE. AE is this length. I'm not gonna actually solve the whole question, but I'm going to give you some keys to help you solve the question. Now we can use cosine rule because two sides are given, the side and the side of this yellow triangle, and the angle between the sides. These three angles together, they add up to 180. So what we have, is 40 and 70. 180 minus 40 minus 70. What's remaining is 70 degrees. So this angle is 70 degrees. This angle here is 70 degrees. Now you can use cosine rule, and with these given sides, you can straight away get side AE. Part B, EAC, angle EAC. Can we find this angle? Yes, because in part A you're gonna get this length. Then you know two lengths. It will be easy to find the angle, this angle. So it's just like question 5 that we did. We know all the three sides, then you can find this angle. Part C, the angle of elevation of E from A. This angle, the third angle. Once you got two angles, finding the third angle is quite easy process. These questions are your tasks. Comment below whatever question you have. I hope you find it easy. Thank you for watching.